state is not interested in prosecuting itself or suing itself, because right now she has a public defender, and that public defender's job is on the line if he tries to sue his employer. So this is what we're dealing with. She's not given a fair shake because she's having to be subject to a state employee and who she's trying to have investigated, possibly bring lawsuit against, is the state. So they're not going to help you out, and they're not making it easy. The other problems is that they've actually put a seal on her entire file. Now, we're talking about from court transcripts as to what was said in court, as to all the way over to the judge final findings and decisions. Everything in between has been sealed. There's no public record that anyone can go request besides the federal level to help her out. No organization can request it under any circumstances. They have sealed it. And we've been told the only way you can seal an entire file is if it is so important that it can cause a war or it can shut down the government. So for those of us that are here to pull down strongholds, I ask that you take a real close look at this case. We are moving forward through the Spirit of God. We had our own agendas. I had my own agenda that I built, but God will sometime pull you over and say, while you're on your way, this is an assignment that I want you to take and do as I want you to do with it. They were talking about David and how it was a time where his army was only those that were lame and crippled, and they were weaker. They were weaker than those that opposed them, and it seemed like an obvious loss. But the difference is that our God is a God of justice. And God, if He's on your side, who can be against you? So we're asking for your help. Please look at the previous videos. Please understand that there's a child in need of help. We need you to write, call, request that this child gets a fair investigation into his allegations of abuse. No organization or agency should have the power to stop a person from reporting that they are being harmed. They are stopping, hindering this child from reporting abuse, because the abuse is being reported on the agency workers or home. And the other thing is that the simple fact that there's a civil rights investigation taking place right now on behalf of Nikima Wilson. They saw enough to open up an inquiry, and they are delaying that investigation from taking place. They are harassing her with phone calls. She has a public defender or public attorney that they are supposed to call, but they still call her, and they know how stressful that can be. And they are moving forward with trying to put her in jail. We had to, by the grace of God. Can you tell us shortly about that warrant situation?
Steve Beeman, Department of Social Services, he represents the whole county now. For 30 years, he represented the Department of Social Service of Wilson County. He now represents the entire county. He was continuously putting warrants out for my arrest as a form of retaliation since we filed the complaint.
You're not working, correct?
No. And originally, I was a high-risk pregnancy when this case first opened. And they're saying that I owe thousands in arrears. I was a high-risk pregnancy placed on bed rest. They had medical documentations from the doctors, the paperwork that showed them that. And within my records, as you saw, the worker that originally came into play.
So are you saying that they're requesting that you pay child support from a time frame that you were pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
High risk pregnancy, hemorrhaging, on bed rest, but they have their paperwork documented that at that time you owed them child support from that time, even though you obviously have doctor's papers showing that you were pregnant and on bed rest, but they got you owing child support, which then is threatening to put you in jail. Okay, so they know she's not working, but we were able to get those warrants thrown out by the grace of God, because we made some phone calls and we said, how is it that you know at this time she couldn't have been working? Here's the documentation. And she's not working, and you can see for yourself that many of your citizens are not working. And you know it's because of the economy and the lack of jobs in this impoverished area. So how is it that if this area cannot offer the jobs, does not offer the transportation, how is it that you're going to start putting people in jail for circumstances that are beyond their control? So we were able to get that warrant thrown out, but they've thrown basically the book at you, trying to throw you in jail because of that. But by the grace of God, we were able to get that thrown out. But what we're asking right now is that you look at Miss Nikima Wilson and her children and think it can happen to anybody. Anyone that is poor, that does not have a middle class income, does not have the square footage that they want, that cannot get a job, or has lost a job, or has lost a home, and is or one or two paychecks away from that. The situation is that your children can be removed just because you're poor, not because you're neglectful, willfully neglectful, but because you live in a hotel because you lost your housing. This is happening right now. There's other civil rights advocates that are calling me, telling me of a woman who had a degree, making money, single mother, bought a house, bought a car. Over the last 2 years, she got laid off, lost her house, lost her car, ended up in a hotel. CPS came to the hotel to get her children just because she's poor. She went to go live with her mother. CPS told her, living with your mother means that you're still homeless. You have to have your own home in order for us to say you're not homeless. Now, this is this woman's mother, the grandmother of these children. They will not return her children to her. The next video that you'll see, we'll talk about the money that is made in the foster care system. Thank you so much for looking at this video. See you on the next one.
Let's see how many minutes this is. It's almost 30 minutes.